good?
Yeah.
We're fucking good, guys. Welcome back to So Essentially Pod. We've missed you. We've missed all of you.
What episode is this? Where are we?
Oh
What
God,
time
is
is
this 8? I don't. What time is it? What planet are we on?
What year are we
Sorry for the delay. Andrew he actually moved to Bangladesh, way out there, and really, I mean, he was on the run, and he had to go fly over to Bangladesh, and that's where the hiccups been. No, this is our first virtual pod.
Yeah. Wow. Welcome to the studio of our two random rooms in our homes that we tend to.
Well, listen, let's be real. You probably have a much nicer place than I do, because I'm a penny pinching little human being that saves Instagrams every dollar I possibly can so I can look at my bank account and sleep okay at night, which is, not right in the head and something I should be talking to a therapist about, but fuck it. Why talk to the therapist?
And I'm the one who's wasting all the money on lavish things, and then I cry myself to sleep because of my bank account. So it's two sides of the same coin.
It's two sides of the same coin. Andrew's going on vacation tomorrow, and I don't know how to spell that word. So there's just two sides. There's two sides of the coin. The thought of getting on a plane going anywhere right now sounds like an absolute fucking dream to me. And even going to Boston, which is, I know you're going to Boston, New Jersey, which is, by the way, not the most glorious of two places. Jersey is basically the
that back.
Jersey's basically the armpit of America. Let's be honest. In Boston, I mean, I've just been there. Robin's from Boston, and I absolutely love the East Coast.
How can armpits have such good food? I'll tell you, Jersey is the cradle of pizza culture and somehow sushi culture. I'm really excited to go to a couple restaurants that I've been just fucking dying to go to.
You're not going to sit here and say that Jersey's the center of pizza culture, right? We'll lose
Why would
all
you
of
say
our
Connecticut
listeners.
Is?
Connecticut? Where'd you pull that out of your ass?
Because okay, this is how I know I'm more in tune than you. Okay, everyone thinks
it was the smug, arrogant.
Is the pizza culture. Everyone thinks that New York is the pizza epicenter.
I wasn't going to say New York, but go ahead. Make it. No. I'd like you to make a fool of yourself. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you got deep dish. You got Chicago. All right. You got Connecticut pizza. All right.
I've never heard of Connecticut pizza. I've never heard of it. I mean, I've been in Connecticut.
It's okay. But
yes, I'm not part of the culture, I guess, of pizza.
If you're part of
pizza gives me acid reflux.
That in New Jersey is one of my favorite pizza places called Raza Pizza. For any of our New Jersey listeners out there, maybe you know the place, maybe you don't. But I remember I had this like spiritual experience when I was there, and it's just from the bread and butter. Okay, so if that tells you anything about the place, if they can knock you out of the park. Like I had this bread and butter that came on this like granite slab, and it was just like one of the side dishes.
Oh, so this is like bougie pizza,
but it's not bougie. It's just like they buy the.
Well,
best
I would,
grain,
everybody used to rave about your mom's bread and butter, and that is not an analogy for something else.
Thank God.
No, I think we've mentioned it before. Growing up, Andrew's mom, literally every time you just went over there, she has bread and butter, and we were always like, "This is the best bread and butter in the world." And she was like, "I don't know, it's like Trader Joe's bread and butter." And it dawned on me, I was like, "It's because you make the effort to put it out." No, who goes over somebody's house that has like bread and butter? Nobody. It's just such it's such a great thing to have, bread and butter.
Oh yeah. No,
you want to hear something, not to cut you off, and I know I've just been rambling, but here's something funny. I went and had some blood work done, just an annual physical, and my doctor calls me, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "You're totally healthy, like everything looks really, really well." He goes, "Let me ask you a question." He goes, "We've gone over your workout. You work out regularly. You seem to eat well." He goes, "Let me just say, you eat a lot of carbs, don't you?" And I go, "Why do you say that?" And he goes, "Well, I've never seen somebody with such healthy blood work with a carbohydrate level that's one click higher than it should be." And he goes, "You must eat a lot of carbs." He goes, "Give me an example." I go, "I'll give you an example." I was waiting for my wife at a outside of a meeting the other day, and there was a bakery, and I ate 2 baguettes waiting for her. full baguettes, full like whatever foot long baguettes waiting for her. And I could do that every day, all day long without stopping.
Oh, I do the same thing with sourdough, entire sourdough loaves over the
Oh,
course of a day. It's
I
bad
I
because I
go
have no
I
impulse
go to
control.
Sprouts Bakery every morning, or I used to in Westlake before I can't eat fucking as many carbs anymore. Loser. I was like, I work out. I thought I could eat as many carbs. I literally they have they're called baby loaves or baby loaves of sourdough, but they're the feeding portions up to 5 people. So it's not like you're like I used to eat all
That's
of it.
not true, by the way. If you're eating for one person, you're not taking. I'm not taking a corner of a loaf. I'm gonna eat like half a loaf. That's like a.
Yeah, you know what? Those serving size are a fucking lie in America. Let me tell you something. Because like I'll go to like Trader Joe's and I'll get like whatever like bullshit off-brand special K cereal there is. And that's like literally there's enough cereal in there for one sitting. And they're like, oh, this is 9 servings worth of cereal. Like who's fucking eating 9 servings worth of that cereal?
They're just lying. I don't know what else to say.
Fucking lying. All right, let's get out onto
What
some
what what are we
so
talking about?
essentially.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I first of all, welcome back. Sorry there's been a delay. Some life stuff happened on my end. I was sick all last week. Life stuff before that week, which I'll talk about down the road. And Andrew moved. So
I did.
now Andrew's down in Century City or Culver City, right?
Yeah, that area. I mean, I don't know. It borders like five different. It's you know, I don't even know what to call it. I
And
live
I'm a
in.
terrible piece of shit friend, and I've yet to be go down there, but I will. I promise you, as a so essentially Boy Scout honor, I will come down as soon as you get back from the East Coast.
Good. We're expecting you.
All right, so um, first I want to start off by we've despite your political opinions, we have a perfect solution to Trump's current news that Trump's under arrest. I don't think he should go to jail. I think he should be forced to live like a normal person for a year. That would be that would be vain enough because I saw the trial today. I was watching it on ABC, and then he just afterwards he went out the back exit, which like everybody makes a big deal. Oh, you got preferential. Of course, he got preferential treatment. Like, are we that fucking surprised that he was allowed out the judge's entrance? The dude has 90 Secret Service agents around him. Like, of course, he ain't walking out the main uh front door. But that being said, the funny thing about it, it was like, oh, this is a huge day, Trump, and he just got on his private jet, went back to Mar-a-Lago. I was like, you know what would if anything, he should have had to wait in a TSA line and got on a coach flight.
Should have taken
That's
a
really
lift to JFK and then waited in the peasant line.
exactly like
Yeah.
just treat that. I really think that for uber rich people like that, and I'm not saying like, listen, I'm not going into any political opinion. I'm not. Yeah, I'm whatever you want to think about Trump. That being said, for any multi-billionaire that gets in trouble because like I see it all the time, and you could agree with it or disagree with it. I see it all the time. These guys get in trouble, and it's like, really, okay, so they get a slap on the wrist. Great, and whatever. And like, I don't know if I agree with that or not agree with that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, instead of like slapping them on the wrist or just charging them, oh, you 35 counts of felonies of misleading business information. Fuck that. Just make them stand in the line. That man
Make
hasn't.
him
That man has not waited in a line for 70 years.
make him instead of going back to Mar-a-Lago, make him stay at a 3-star Airbnb, just something that's a
Yeah,
little too mediocre, and then they serve
that
you
the
and you're
host
like,
is unavailable.
yes. And then you don't know how to get in because the lockbox is the wrong combination, and you're like calling the place and they're not picking up, and then you
Trust me,
have
he would
to go
walk
book
himself into
a hotel.
jail. He would
Oh yeah.
walk himself into jail. What a Selbaki, here I come. Like the second he had to deal with some real, and I'm not saying those are bad problems. I'd rather be dealing with that than a million trillion other things. But what if he had to make him go to the DMV for 5 weeks straight,
Oh man, yeah, I would like to see someone
where
endure
no
that.
one gives a
Not no
shit?
AAA, go to the DMV.
No, AAA. AAA's like if I could get something solved at AAA, I count that as one of the luckiest days of
Oh yeah,
existence. If I could,
that's the first class of DMV experiences for sure. So yeah,
totally.
you should be willing to endure that. That's what you come here for, is our so essentially is hot political takes.
Hot political takes. I'm not saying whatever. If you think the guy should be in jail, if you love him to death, I don't really give a fuck. I'm pretty indifferent on all of it. But I just think if you're really going to punish somebody like that, and you really want him to punish, put him in a line,
Make him
make
work
him
at
wait in a T.
Starbucks.
Perfect. Perfect. He can work on the Starbucks down the street because I gotta fucking tell you, I gotta find. You know what happened to me? I got yelled at in the Starbucks line the other day. I actually got yelled at by a Starbucks employee.
Oh, by an employee.
Yeah, like they were like I kind of know the girl we went. It's somebody we went to high school with. I'm not gonna mention her name, but and she didn't really yell at me. But and kudos to her because like that fucking Starbucks is like so busy. There's a million fucking drinks. Everybody's complaining there. I hate going there. I never really go to Starbucks. I'm not. I make French press. The only time I ever go is a very occasionally. Robin will go on, and I'll go on a weekend just to pick up something sweet, or when I do get when I get sick, they're medicine balls. I don't know if I don't know if they really work, but have you ever had a medicine ball?
No, I just thought of the exercise equipment. What's a medicine ball?
No, a medicine ball. Everybody. So Starbucks has a secret menu. I don't. I mean,
Okay.
that's true. They have like you could look it up. Medicine ball is part of their, and it's like a variation of like combination of like 3 or 4 different teas mixed with steamed lemonade. And I got to be honest with you, every time I'm sick, it fucking helps me. Like I don't know if it's placebo. It just makes me feel good. It makes you feel like you're hydrated, but yet you get when you're sick and you need a little sugar, like you just feel like everything's it just gives you like a bite of everything, and it's like zesty and it kind of like gives you a boost of energy. Highly recommend the medicine ball. So I was sick the other day, and Robin orders online a medicine ball. So instead of stopping at the kiosk, you have in a drive-through, you have to order at the kiosk and you drive around to the window. I was like, oh, it's already ordered. So I'm just going to drive around the window without hesitation. The girl pops her head out and goes, Max. I go, oh, hey. She goes, next time, like next time, please order at the kiosk. Then we'll have your drink waiting for you. And like, it's not like they had to make my drink. It was already made. And it took them 2 seconds to turn around, grab it off the tray and hand it to me, or grab it off the counter and hand it to me. But yet I got, Max, please. And I get it. I get it. But wait, it gets, I was, my frustration was legitimatized by a phone call to to somebody who I know will just shoot it straight, and that is my mother-in-law. If I do something that's socially out of the norm, I send an email that's out of there, she'll just, no, that is not the way you're supposed to do it. I called her, she was like, absolutely. I go, I think she's completely out of line. I said, thank you. Thank you. I knew she was out of line.
It's like your Larry
Anyways,
David Starbucks moment. Wow, I'm glad you're
I
vindicated.
have probably too many of those to admit. But anyways, okay. So all kidding aside, one thing I wanted to talk to you about today is that let's just give it an update. Let's catch them up to what we're doing right now. So what has your last, I think we've been probably off air for what, like about a month now,
Yeah, about a
month and a
month.
half. So
um,
let's give them an update.
sure. I mean, man, what can I update on? I feel like this is probably my constant state of where I'm at. Just I so at Pillar we're busier than ever. I mean, nothing's changed in there. We're trying to plan more ahead of time. So I've just been working my ass off trying to fight the tide of the constant flow of work. And
Hmm.
it's been exciting, but I think also what I've realized is that this past month has been a lot. Moving in took priority and working took priority over. I let it take priority over my physical well being. So like I didn't get my workouts in, been feeling shitty, have this start this cycle where I'm starting to, not do my work as efficiently because I don't feel refreshed every day. So I get in those ruts, and then it's about recognizing where I am in those ruts, and then trying to climb back out of that hole. So that's, I feel like, my eternal struggle as a self-proclaimed perfectionist, procrastinator extraordinaire. I've just been working, and what I realize is that my job is a constant. Um, it's a constant accountability check, like in both ways. Like if I didn't have this job and I was working an easier job, um, I would probably, be comfortable in where I am and probably wouldn't be working out, and I wouldn't feel stressed about that. Um, Now the judgment I'm placing on that is like, I want to be healthier. I want to be more on top of the ball when it comes to work stuff and do projects more efficiently. So like my work is, forcing that on me, is forcing my hand a bit, because like I get called out on my shit at work. And then I improve every other day. So like, and it's
How
interesting.
much does it piss you off when you got called out? Not like not pissed off at the person I called because when I've been, everybody makes like little mistakes here and there, like everybody does. The one thing that I just need to get better at is like I'm pretty good at like an hour later I'm fine, but god damn do I beat myself up in the moment. Fuck, I beat myself up in the
Oh,
moment.
me too. I mean, the other day I was like, I had a dream last night that I let down one of our clients. Like, this is how much I'm working and thinking about it. It's like kind of silly, but I had a dream that I like let down one of my clients, and I woke up like really stressed because I had to get these designs done in time for a client this morning, and I was just thinking to myself, like, why didn't I just do it over the weekend? Like, why couldn't I just dedicate this time? Like, I feel like such an asshole. And then I do the designs, and then I feel this wave of relief, and then
Right,
also
right,
regret,
right.
because
You're
it's
like,
like,
"Oh, okay." Like, you idiot. Like, you could have just avoided all of that stress. Excuse me 1 second. My wife is actually about to walk in
yeah.
and but no, we can keep talking, but she's about to walk in. But 1 second. Can I come in? Yes. Um so what was I saying? I dude, that is the weirdest thing about life because like I think that you and I are two people that are like I do the same thing. Like sometimes I like I, not that I even push something off, but like at the fucking end of the day, like you got to take a second somewhere. You got to like like in like this all is going to go spiraling downhill into how I'm envious that you're leaving on vacation tomorrow, blah blah blah. But that being said, like you got to take a second, right? And every time I take a second, it's like fuck, dude, like it just gnaws at me and it nags at me that I'm not doing something. As soon as I do it, it's like, oh, there's something right now that I have on my mind. That's not even that important, but it's just like just get it the fuck done. It's almost like the non-important things nag on you the most because like those are the things that are easy to push aside.
Sure. Yeah. It's funny because I find myself in like the polar opposite. Like I experience those same emotions, but for different reasons. I think that my interpretation of how you feel those emotions is that it's a drive for you to like it's almost like a pulling mechanism. Like if you're not doing something, you feel like you should be doing it, and that pushes you into doing it. For me, it's like I don't do something for long enough, I try to push off those feelings, and then I just feel like guilt, but then it spirals more into not doing it. And then I'll do it like I'll have I'll take up all the rope I can of like the amount of rope someone's willing to give me in order for them to like not be pissed at me. And it's like a subconscious thing. It's like a semi-conscious, semi-subconscious thing that I do to avoid the discomfort in the moment of addressing like, let's just get to work. So it's weird because I consider myself a productive person, but also, well, I should say this, I don't consider myself a productive person, even though in spite of that I somehow managed to be one.
Hmm.
And I don't know how.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
I get that. I mean, like it's funny because like I think as much as you think we differ in that, I don't think we differ as much. It's like, but I just wrote down a scribble on my pad here, and it said passionate versus non-passionate. And I've noticed my wife is Robin has helped me realize that like the things that I push off, I'm not very passionate about. Like I there's no way I let something like I have probably 100% success rate or whatever, 99% success rate on getting the shit done that I want to get done that I'm passionate about, you
Mm,
know? But I have like a less than that success rate about like doing like meaningless, like not meaningless, and that's such a bad word, but sometimes in the position I have, and I don't have to go all the way into it, but I do little tasks for, people sometimes. And it's like sometimes I'm doing those and I'm like, yeah, listen, like the problem is that I also run like semi successful business myself. And it's like, millions of people that do my job don't do the other shit. They just do like they just run their business. And if I just ran my business, my life would be pretty like like I would have a lot of time. Like even just like there's people in our industry that don't do it as like as a big of a production as like our team, like my partner does. And like I mean I he's he does it everything on a major scale. There's people that make six, seven, $800,000 a year that just they come in and they do their thing and they work hard, but they're doing their thing for 5 hours a day and then they go fuck off. And like that's like something and so it's like the little shit, the minutia of like the little things that like I'm not passionate about. Those are the things that I find myself losing track about. You know, those are the things that I'm like, God. But like then it's like, yeah, I feel bad. But then like I also, and then maybe this is bad, I don't know if you can agree with this, like convince myself like I almost use a passionate thing as an excuse. Like, I'm not passionate about it, so that's why I'm not, like I can find some comfort in that and just be like, fuck it. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. I don't need to like focus on this because I'm not passionate about it. And you know what? In the long run, doesn't really fucking matter, but it all does in the long run, right? It all does, and you want to be on top of everything. But I get where you're coming from, where it's like, but I also think that's a product of being just mentally overwhelmed sometimes.
yeah, it feels like to me a symptom of burnout that I'm constantly on the edge of. I mean, I definitely feel it now. Like I feel it in these past couple weeks because I agree with you. The things that I'm passionate about. I mean, it's kind of self fulfilling. Like if you're passionate about something, you're gonna be excited about it. Versus things that you're not passionate about, they're gonna suck. But what I've noticed too is that like even things that I am passionate about, especially in phases of burnout, are hard to motivate me to keep that as a core motivator to do what I need to do. So like even if I love designing flyers, for example, or even if I love playing guitar, or even something like this, because I almost equate it to like seasonal depression. That's kind of how I look at burnout, because when you're in this state of burnout, nothing really feels enticing. Like everything feels like such a chore that you have to muster up all the willpower that you have inside of yourself just to do the simplest task. And I find that all the time. There's a task that I looked at today in my inbox from like, I know that would take me like legitimately 15 minutes to accomplish. It's not hard. And it was
Right.
like pulling teeth, you know?
Yeah.
So there's
I
a
have to do something
balance.
after we end here. Like I have to do. It's funny. I have to make a flyer. It's like random that it's along the same stuff that you do, and it's not something I usually do, right? And I'm doing a favor. It's kind of hard to explain why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it, and it's something that and admittedly so. And I hope the person that I'm doing it for hears this because it is. I've admitted. Well, with that the life stuff that I was talking about kind of got in the way of this, and I will use that as an excuse because during that kind of the last 2 weeks have been a little rough personally. And everybody's healthy and safe and sound, and there's no death. It's some personal life stuff, but um, like I found myself doing everything that I needed to do, but like this little one task has really gotten away from me, and it is. And then like what but here's my thing. Here's where it fucks with me is that I will wake up at 3 in the morning, in which I did to get like the first draft out of this. I woke up at 3 in the morning and it just like hit me, and like I maybe didn't think about it going to bed, but subconsciously I had it on my mind and it was annoying me. And I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and banged it out in legitimately 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
like this was something that like you could have thought it was $100,000 worth of debt of how much I was like pushing it off, and it was making me just that general feeling of like you're pushing this off, you don't want to do this, you don't want to step out and do this. And it was like that it's just those. But like with me, it's like I wake up, and then that's not a healthy way to do things. Like like realistically, I should have in the middle of the day set it aside time. I could, and you know what? If I did it that way, and maybe I wasn't rushing, trying to jam it in at 3 in the morning, I wouldn't have had revisions where I have to do it again. You know, and it's. What do you think the solution to that is for you?
I think it like any sign of a struggle with a task, whether it's for work or not, like it could be something as simple as, and I had to do this last week. I had to go um, get my title transferred for my car that I bought from my dad.
Oh,
So
personal stuff like that, I'm fucking terrible at.
it's so bad for me, and it's like,
It's
and
so hard.
it's incredibly hard. And for me, like I went over the because you're in California, you're supposed to do within a 10-day limit, transfer the title if someone gives you the paper. You're supposed to bring it to the DMV within 10 days, and I went past the 10 days, and then I realized that like what the lady said to me was like, yeah, there's actually no extra fee for this. It's actually 30 days, but we tell people 10 days so that they like get their shit in on time. And I was like, wow, the government built in a system because they knew I was a lazy fucking
But okay, so
procrastinator.
like that works for me. Like if like but like dude, that's the funny thing is that when it comes to work, I'm running at like no one could be. I mean, I really don't think anybody could be 100%. Like I watch my Davis, my partner, my mentor, who's unbelievably successful at what he does, and he I mean, there's shit that goes to the wayside all the time. Or like oh fuck, I gotta get that done, and then he rushes to do it. Like no one's batting 1,000, right? But I'm up there with like actual like the work stuff that I need. Anything personal, like right now, like I had to cancel my health insurance because I just hopped onto my wife's plan, and I have to cancel that. There's no reason but like it's either that or I will wait until the last day to do that. Like I know I like if it's gonna charge me a bunch of money if I go past the end of this month, and I will. I think I mean, I kind of lost track, but I think when it goes down to it, it's like, it's interesting to me because the life stuff, the like, I'm pretty good at like next to like taxes because I'm just so like, I get like anal, like I'm like neurotic about taxes, but like switching health, like canceling my health insurance, like scheduling jury duty, gives a fuck. Scheduling my animal, a doctor's appointment, like it's just like I like there's literally, and this is so bad, but there has been, and it's not like laziness. It's just I just don't give a fuck. Like I like really like when it comes down to like I just don't care. Like I don't care until it needs to happen, right? Like
Sure. Yeah.
and that's where like my mother-in-law is great because she will fly here from the East Coast and like schedule shit for me to do. Like you need to do this on this date, and I don't, and like I do it because I don't want to let her down. It's not that it's because of her. I have TSA pre-check because
Nice.
she finally said she's like, this is ridiculous. Like the last time she was like, I'm just scheduling it for you. Like perfect. But you know what? Here's the thing. I think, and this is going to be so like pretentious to say, I think that's the sign of a successful human being. I do, because I think that like there like I think if you can only if you're so like focused on let's be honest, could you give a shit if like scheduling if you could just have somebody schedule all like like I don't know. I mean, that sounds bad, but could you I just don't care. I don't care enough. Like, I don't like. It took me so long to just go get my real ID until my wife was like, "You gotta go fucking do this, dude." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Fine." I went out and did it. And it really, I was there and I was like, "This is not that bad." Like, I'm just standing in line. Like, it's not that bad, but like, I just couldn't. Like, I just can't wrap my head around it. You know?
No, I get that. For me, I feel like it's a bit different because at least you're hyper focusing on things that need to be done and they do get done. And I feel like in my experience, this is the perspective of me coming from my old patterns and that stemmed from high school. And I talked about that on a few episodes. It was probably one of our first couple episodes that I talked about it. But you know, me failing the first year of Syracuse University, my first attempt at college, was because I had these patterns that persisted from high school, which is like I was so good at avoiding things and not giving a fuck about things that I only hyper focus about things that weren't actually beneficial for my future. So like I hyper focused, and I guess you could say like if someone is hyper focusing on video games, it's not necessarily like it could lead to what if they turn into a pro esports player, what if they turn into the best video game player, like these inclinations shouldn't be ignored entirely. And but I think what I was doing was ultimately unproductive, and that's the urge that I constantly fight, because for me ignoring things is a symptom, is it's always a barometer for something else. It's like a wind sock. It's like if suddenly the direction of the wind changes and you see the sock start to violently shake, I'm not going to look at that and go like, everything's normal. I'm going to be like, there's something I'm probably not addressing. And for me personally, I think it's always physical health first, and mental health.
Mm,
And what that means is like me getting to a gym or me scheduling time to go on a run and like committing to it and feeling good about myself because I'm starting the day off right. And to me, it doesn't come natural. I think to even when I'm stressed and I know a workout would be good for me, like it's like pulling teeth to go to the workout. So it's kind of interesting. I think my mind works in different ways where I treat everything as a signal of where things are headed, or if I'm it's like an alarm bell's going off. Hey Andrew, you're going to this place again. Let's make sure that
mm.
we take care of ourselves so that we don't fall too far down.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think.
I don't think
Like,
no, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just
you
it's
know
a
what?
different
Yeah.
operational. It's a different way of operating than you. I think it's just my
Yeah. Yeah.
perspective. Coming from I procrastinate a ton, and I did a lot in my youth, and I still do it to some extent, way less than I did in my youth. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hold a job. But it's something that I have to be cognizant of. I mean,
You
it's
know
kind of
what's
dumb to
becoming
yeah.
more like it used to be like I think it has to do with like neuroses for me a little bit. Like certain things that I used to be putting off, like personal things. Like I've always been like relatively good at keeping up like work stuff, but personal things that I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm 100%. There's certainly things about in the work life where like, oh, I'll push that off to Monday. And I think of many examples when I was in the film industry because you're so tired and you're so run down. I was like, fuck, I'll do walking inventory on Monday and just hope it goes well and fuck it and fuck the, it just, you push off the little stuff. But like I used to be so bad about like life stuff. Like it wasn't that I didn't want to spend. Like, everybody's you just don't want to spend. It's like it's not that like cleaning my car used to be like, and I would never let it get dirty, but like just going to a car wash just like wasn't on my radar. Like my car wasn't gross because I'm not like a cluttered person, but like the outside of my like like I would run through, like I wouldn't do like a true wash of my car for months. Like I would run through like the car wash at the gas station, but that doesn't really fucking do anything. And I would never, there wouldn't be trash in my car, but it's like just doing stuff like that. It's still like, but like what I'm trying to say is like even the fact of like getting my car maintenance, and what's funny is like I think all tracks back, and I say it's a sign of a successful. I think that was actually a stupid fucking comment, to be honest with you. But I retract that. I retract that out of the pod. That was a dumb comment.
Nothing is
I
dumb. You just let
I
it all out.
think that with me, it's actually, what it really is. It's actually ADHD. Like like and I don't know why I've never, like I don't always equate it with that, because that's like just classic signs of ADHD. Like if you've done as much research in ADHD that I have and been in enough, like I know ADHD and I know ADD. Like I could teach, like I literally at one point in my life thought I was going to be like, I wanted to become a therapist to like go after ADD and ADHD and like help people with that. Because I just have it to like the extreme, like extreme. I have an extreme, and um, it's just like the thought of like focusing at all on something that I don't want to be focusing on, or that doesn't interest me. Going to the car wash, I'm gonna have to wait. I have to get out of my car. I have to pay the guy. I have to go watch the light. Then it's gonna take 40 minutes to fucking wash my car, and I'm gonna have to watch. It's like, okay.
Dude, I do that. I do that with grocery. I did that today with groceries, and Cameo was like kind of scoffs at me because I'm like, and I can't even explain how my brain works in this scenario because I just someone has to be in my brain to understand. But like the thought of like interrupting my workday to go to a Vons and like pick shit
Mm,
up, I just Instacart stuff if I want it because
yeah,
like
it's not me.
why like of course there's a balance like if I'm not making enough money to do that, I'm not going to say like it's always more valuable to do Instacart, but there's certain shit I'm like, hey, I don't want to interrupt my day with dumb shit if I don't have to. And I guess you could argue like, well, doesn't everyone want to minimize the things that they don't want to do? But I think with ADHD, it is particularly intense because
Mm.
it's not like, hey, I don't feel like doing this, so I'm going to circumvent it. It's like, I have zero patience. I have zero energy for this. And I won't do it unless it puts me in a situation where I'm either losing my job or getting kicked out of the country or my girlfriend's
Mm.
going to leave me. Like it's so bad.
Well, like with me, it's like I'll get myself to the Vons. I mean, for us, it's Costco. We go to Costco a lot. Costco and Trader Joe's is our stores. And but like I really like I'm pretty good at Trader Joe's. It's really small. I know where everything is, and like I like Trader Joe's because I'm there. I know everything. But even when I go, like me going to a grocery store alone without my wife, twice the time. It takes me twice the time. Like I went to, because like I am doing 1,000 things. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to all the people that work there. Not like about the products. I'm talking, what's up? How are you? Whoa, like just fucking gabbing, right? I went to fucking Costco the other day. Took me 2.5 hours at Costco to do the same thing that my wife and I do in a half hour.
Have you ever
Like
seen that meme where it's like, I'm gonna look for this image because it just reminded me of this, but like when girls go shopping, and it's like they're zigzagging around the store doing circles, and then there's a comparison when guys go shopping, and it's like they turn left, get the thing, and then they leave. You're
that's
like
not
the
me.
exact
I'm not,
opposite of
I'm
that.
a total girl when it comes to that. Literally, I'm going up and down the lines. I answer my phone. I'm talking to my friend Lisa. We're gabbing all through the store. I'm just going up. I realize like 30 minutes into talking to my friend, I'm like, I'm just wandering up and down aisles. I'm not even looking for anything.
Oh yeah, I'll
And
just
I'm
be
like,
like, especially if I'm in a store I like, I'm like, I wonder what they have over here. Like, because I've been looking. It's like I don't need this in my life, and I start browsing aisles
it's
where
not
I'm like
even that.
looking
I'm
at
not
stupid
even
shit.
buying, but that's the shitty thing, Andrew. That's why I'm saying ADHD. I'm not even buying more
Yeah.
shit. It's not, I'm not even buying, I'm regimented when I'm like, I don't want to spend too much money. It's not about the fucking money. It's not about shopping too much. It's literally, I cannot pay the fuck attention. Like that is my struggle. As I can, and I like, please, if you're listening and you can relate, comment because I'd love to talk to you. Because it's not, it has nothing to do with like, oh, I wonder if there. I don't need this. I'm so good at being like, we're not getting this. This is, I don't need this. Do I want that? Do I want all, that 24 pack of kombucha? But that 24 pack of kombucha is $50. I ain't fucking getting that. Like that's like I'm like I'm so good about it. What I'm not good at is staying the fuck on track. And it's
Hey, you came to the right podcast if you want to talk to two of the most
polar
fucking hindered
opposite.
people. Polar opposite, but also equally
Hindered in the
afflicted
same
people.
ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
equally conflicted people. All right. I don't want to change topics. And I know you talked about 2 seconds and I just had an ADHD meltdown. But I want to talk to you about sales, selling. That's what I want to talk to you about. I think, and I've solidified this. I think it's the most important, one of the most important skill sets that you can have, and it's something that inherently I'm very, I'm a gabber. I have the gift to gab. I go out, everybody. Oh, I'm talking to everybody, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people that I think I don't think I'm the one. I think a lot of people are introverts, and I kind of was thinking about it, and I think the best thing, if you want to get better at it, the best thing you do is just go out and talk to people. Put yourself in a scenario. Go to pickleball. Go to Costco. I mean, maybe not Costco, but go to like somewhere social and just fucking do it because I guarantee you it'll affect you positively. If you learn how to talk, it will affect you positively. If it's not mentally, it'll be in your work. It'll make you more successful. What are your thoughts?
I think that it takes that's really inspiring because I think it's a lot sales is a lot more attainable. And I want to break down the word sales for a second because I think there's a couple different ways that people think about sales. There's the way that you think about sales in terms of the used car salesman, where it's like
Mm,
someone approaching you where you're not really interested but you feel like they're pushing something on you, and all you want to do is shake them off of you because it's like, I'm just not interested. It's like a solicitor. You can get away
right.
from my doorstep, I'm not interested. True sales, I think, comes out in the most natural and weird places, and it's actually the opposite, I think, of what a lot of people's misconceptions of what they have of sales is that it's providing a solution for people who need a problem solved. And if you're the right person to provide the solution, you offer it, and it's an act of helping someone. It's not an
Right.
act of sales is almost like a misnomer, like the word sales. I just
Oh,
feel
I
like
completely agree with that.
it's like you're not selling someone. I mean, in the business you call it selling. I just sold this huge, deal, whatever. You're helping someone because they have a need and you have a solution. And when those two things pair, you can make money doing it. And it's also very natural. So I feel like I was afraid of the word sales or what it meant to be salesy for a while until I realized, hey, I provide a certain service. People value that service. If I make it known and if
Exactly.
I ask about the questions and the struggles that they have, don't just sit there and talk about, oh, I've been looking at a website, I'm trying to design this website for my company. I design websites. I do this, I do that. Like, that's not sales. You're
Dude,
just trying
you
to
sell
elevator pitch
yourself
yourself.
every day in most situations if you think about it. I to kind of go back, I have been asked by a client. It's been an honor. I don't want to say too much too quickly. Things are still in the works, but I've been asked to come on as like a consultant at a tech company at a very very part time basis, um, to consult on some things and to help develop and grow part of their company. And I was talking to my client, who's one of the owners, and he's what's called the I think his official title is BOO, which is business. I forget his exact title, but he's basically like number one salesman, right? and we were talking, and you sell yourself. People like look at sales and they go, "Oh, I don't ever want to do that. I don't want." You sell yourself every day. If you're in HR, if you're in your positions might not be a sales position, but let's just put it this way: we're not even talking to clients. Okay, we're not even talking to clients. Okay, when you're in a meeting with your team and you're pitching an idea, what is that? Sales, right? If you're in, if somebody pitches an idea, but you have a difference of an opinions, what is that? That's as much a negotiation in sales than anything else. And people get scared of it. But what you don't know is you do it naturally. Everybody does it naturally. You know what I mean? And people just, I think it's this like big like just stress word for people. People are almost sales. Oh, I'm not a salesman, but yes, you are. If you're a true salesman or you're an HR representative, you're a salesman. It's you sell yourself every day in many situations. You know, if you go, even if you go buy a car, you're selling. You have to negotiate, you have to sell, you have to kind of play into what you want so you get what you want. You know, you're selling yourself every day and people are scared of it. And I'm here trying to say, I don't know, like, I don't know if this helps or hurts, but don't be, because you're fucking doing it every day, you know?
So
Go on.
as the person with ranking, as with seniority over me in terms of experience with sales, and I'll just say that because there is a distinction between you're selling yourself every day and distinction between that and being good at sales. So
Mm.
what in your mind, constitutes someone who is good at sales? What do those
Listen,
skill sets
like
look like?
here's the deal. I'm not saying go do my job, because my job is truly like one of the classic examples of a salesman, right? And that scares a lot of people. Now, do I think anybody can do this job? I do. I think you could do this job. I think you could do this job better, if at the same level, if not better than I can. I think there is so many, sales is such a thing that you could teach, such a thing that you can, like here's the thing, I've talked about it, there's books that go around, there's the ninja selling book, and it all follows the same thing, is that it's a skill that could be taught. Some people are naturally born with the ability to go out and talk to people, some people are not. But if you the great thing about sales is you can do it in your own way. There's no right or wrong way to do sales if you're getting the job done, right? So if you're out there and you're doing it more of a form, I don't do it in very formulatic way. I don't read off scripts. Maybe I should. Maybe I'm stubborn. I probably am. I probably would do better if I read off scripts. But that ain't me, and I'm not at that point yet. Like I'm not gonna, But you're about to say something.
Yeah, I actually, to your point, maybe you'd be better with a script. I think that the way that you're doing sales, and this is from my very novice perspective, just because I'm not, pitching clients, I'm selling as much as I am, presenting to clients, but that's about the extent of it. When you're doing client outreach, I think the way that you do it is extremely natural. And like my experience with that is that we had someone at the previous company I used to work at, Tyson Ranch, who was the sales manager for reaching out to third party brands to try and get us. He was trying to pair our CBD products with other dispensaries, and he was reading
Right.
off a literal script. Like he printed this out, and I would hear him on the phone every single day, and he would I'd hear him talking at the water cooler too about his success, and didn't have many successes because like if you heard this guy talk on the phone, it was like a robot. And man, did his pitch sound good, but I'll tell you, it sounded really rehearsed, and it gave
Mm.
zero room for anyone else to jump in and ask a question, to feel like their problems were being heard. Like it was just an explanation. So I like that's when I say I think that natural sales feels the most authentic and feels like it can probably turn a lot of these leads into real clients, because you're leaving your sales attitude or ego at the door, and you're just asking You're just having a conversation with someone to uncover a desire.
My trick is, and I think my trick is that I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know who I am. There's no surprises. Like you're gonna get the same guy that mumbles and stumbles and that occasionally throws in an F. I mean, to an extent, I could pick my crowd, but like you're gonna get the same guy that after 2 or 3 times of meeting him, he's gonna be like, "Fuck this shit, fuck that. This is stupid shit. You don't want this house because it's fucked up." Like you're gonna get that realistic guy now, and people like here's the thing. I think the root of it is that everybody is fucking interesting. Okay, there's not a person in this world that doesn't have a story to tell that it's not interesting. Why? Because I can talk to fucking anybody, and I know this because I talk to a lot of people. Okay, I talk to so many people, and my initial thought is with anybody I know, I go, there's something interesting to be talked about here, and I will find it. You can't, like, I think millions of people approach people in different circumstances, different businesses with just like, you are a human being, I'm a human. No, like, everybody is unique. Find out why. That is truly what I like. I know everybody's unique. So find out why. Everybody has, if it's their job, if it's their personality, if it's something in their life, everybody is unique. And you should have an open ear to why they're unique. And that is it. Sales, what you're selling should not be, in my opinion, should not be the topic of conversation. It should just be you and me hanging out, talking, gabbing it up, and you know why I'm there. Like, let's be honest with you. If I'm at a fucking open house, all right, and I'm talking to you, what are we talking about? I don't need to say real estate. Many times I do because the conversation naturally goes there. But what are we talking about? We're talking about just life. I'm not talking about real estate. They're there. They're at the open house. I give them the rundown of what the property is. Great. Move on to like fucking life because it just naturally talk to people. And I got to be honest with you. The more people I talk to, the different amount of people I talk to, there's a common trend. Everybody has something to say if you're willing to listen. That is the fucking fact right there. You will catch 100% of the people if you're willing to listen. Trust me, I can tell you that from experience. If you're willing to listen to those people, anybody, and you come into it with that's why like you know me, Andrew, I do not have a starch opinion about virtually anything. I'm about as like down, like anything you say, I will accept if I agree with it or not. I don't give a shit. I'm here to listen. And that's the biggest thing behind it. And I don't know. We were kind of talking about a light topic, and this is what I came up with. But it's true. It's what makes the world. If you just fucking shut up and listen, all right. And sometimes I'm not saying like I sit there and I like keep my mouth shut, but because I certainly have no capability of doing that. But if you just if you're passionate about what you're saying and you take the other person as just a equal level human being, like listen, like I met these people at an open house that now asked me for this opportunity. I didn't know who they fucking were. They walked into a $500,000 open house. Okay. I mean, yes, if you're listening, and I'm not discounting it, but anywhere that's not California, New York, like a $500,000 house might be a nice. In California, where I live, a $500,000 house is about as cheap as you're gonna buy a small little townhouse for. All right. And like usually the people you're meeting there are like first time home buyers that don't want to break the bank on their first house. I don't know. And I was just genuinely myself. And these people are not, they don't speak a lot of English. And I just listened, communicated as well as I could, had a smile on my face, and look at where we are now. We're 6 months later. They're going to buy a house for me at the later part of this year, and they offer me. Little do I know, they won't run a multi-million-dollar company. Multi-million-dollar. The company is unbelievable, and it just came from just listening and being a natural fucking human being. like that guy who reads off, because you know what, I'm gonna say it, and I'm, if more people that I work with hear this, they're all gonna be like, hey, Max is a kid and doesn't know it. I fuck the scripts. Actually, be yourself. Read the scripts. So you like listen. I'm not saying the scripts are wrong. Read the scripts because like there are good points. Like I will be honest with you. There's sometimes if I'm like on an initial call with somebody, I don't do a lot of like call consultations. I usually meet people out and about, and that's how I like to get my business done. But like, there's certainly like points that you should that, and I'm at fault of this that I missed, like notes I should be taking because I'm not following. Like, oh, well, ask about this, ask about this, ask about their credit history, ask like there's certainly things, but does it really hurt me? Not really, right? You know what I mean? Like, and like can I touch on that topic? Can I make a note about it in my system and touch on that topic later on in the, the next time I talk to them? Sure. You know, but read the scripts. If you really have a hard time, read the scripts. But at the end of the day, put your own fucking twist on it. Because you don't put your own fucking twist on it, you're a robot. No one wants to listen to you. That's the bottom fucking line right there. All right. And as shitty as that sounds, and I'm not saying I'm a $1 million salesman, but all I can say is that I think I'm good, pretty fucking good at least people, and that's what I have to say about it. So, what are your thoughts?
Man, you're just dropping knowledge bombs. I just
Well, I don't
I
know.
love
I was thinking about this. I mean, I get a lot. I talk to a lot of people about sales and stuff because people like I'm someone that I'm like a weird person. Like I fucking love sales. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Like it as shitty as it sounds, it's my fucking passion. I think it's the most fun thing on the planet Earth. Like I really do. I'm obsessed. I'm addicted to it.
I think the way that you describe sales makes it sound really fun for even someone who wouldn't traditionally consider themselves a salesman. And I think the reason for that is because you're preaching radical authenticity and also like just openness and listening. And that I think is like that kind of presence in sales you might hear from a lot of other people or maybe not. Like when I think of sales, I think of like people reading off scripts, people on the phones like hammering people every single day trying to get one lead to buy whatever the fuck that they're selling. And I think that you're uniquely poised to like just the person that you are, like you can't be anything else except for yourself because that's just what you're extremely good at and that's what got you here. And I think that goes for everything else in life too. Like if and this is why I also don't like the phrase fake it till you make it. This is just a side tangent of me hating common wisdom bundled up in a few words. Like if you're faking it the whole time, people are going to tell, right? Like
Sure.
there's a certain
Sure.
attitude in life that you can take where it's like, oh well, if I fake bravado and I fake confidence, eventually I'll make it. Maybe that's true, but like if you don't find what you're good at, people have a very good bullshit detector. Like
Mm,
you can be the best impersonator in the world, but when you're yourself, people catch that and you
right.
excel at what you do. So I couldn't agree more with what you just said.
Yeah, and I just think that it's getting over that hump of listen, like I just what I got good at is like if somebody doesn't like me, fuck it, I don't care. Like you don't have to be universally liked. So be yourself because at the end of the day, you're right. If you're always this fake like like you're like I had a boss like that. And it was like, dude, like I love you, dude, but just come on. Like it ain't all that great. It ain't all that great. Like, it's just not, It's funny. I had a client that we're doing a deal with right now and the deal on my side is going smoothly. There's some things about it that might be a hiccup. Um and tomorrow will tell. Um and she calls me and she goes and we literally before this um pod I was talking and she goes Max, she goes, I've been working in corporate America. They're honestly, these two, damn near my favorite clients. Like, I mean, they are. I mean, they're awesome. Like, just awesome. so easy to work with, fucking funny. He has a sick job. He's a firefighter. I don't want to go into it, but he has a great job. She's super cool. And I'm not saying favorite, but I really like these people because I really would, I couldn't pick a favorite client. Everybody I've worked for this far, from the bottom of my heart, I've absolutely found a connection with that it will never, I can't be compared to others. But I always say that, like when I'm working with people, like, oh, you're my favorite. But like really honestly, like everybody that I've worked with, I individually like for different reasons. Like that's like the true heartiest response to it. Like I really like everybody have worked with, all great people in their own individual ways. But I was talking to her and she goes, Max, she goes, I've been in corporate for like 30 years, or not 30 years. There's no way. She's like, well, that make her 10 years old, maybe when she got her. But she's like, she's been working in corporate for like 15 years. And she's like, I always used to think like, maybe I want something with doesn't really have a boss, like real estate. And she goes, now I see the shit you deal with. And I go, fuck no, I'm not getting into that world. So it's like, I don't know, that's just a side tangent. I just thought that was funny because all day long I've been like, we've been this and like, listen, like, be honest, like honestly, like my biggest job for what I do especially is that, like, no matter how hard it gets, the client really shouldn't, even if things go wrong, I should be presenting in a way where it's like, this is what's going on. This, like like, this is a situation we're at. No need to stress about it because, like, it's either going to happen or it's not. But like, there's nothing we can do more that we're doing, and things are fine. Right. However, like it's just like all through today, I've been like kind of like, there's just there's just few little like weird avenues that I'm dealing with this transaction. And it was just funny because like she gives me a call. She's like, dude, I don't fucking envy your job at all anymore. She's like, I used to. I thought, oh, real estate agents, they make good money. They do this. And then she's like, fuck that. I'd never be a real estate agent. So it is all hindsight. I'm not saying, I I think it is also finding the right sales job. Like this sales job, I'm allowed to be myself. But then again, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that it will apply because like this consulting gig that I'm supposedly going to get myself into is it is more of like a corporate consulting gig, and they hired me because I am who I am, and I do business in the way I do business. So I think it goes to show you that you have to naturally be yourself, and you have to be authentic. And if you're not authentic, it will show.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It doesn't matter what job you work at, what position you're in. Like truly evaluate whether or not you're being authentically yourself in that position. Are
Yeah,
you
I
playing
agree.
to your strengths? Like is your job putting you in a position? And look, not everyone can be in that position to start off with, and I understand that. I'm not, advocating for anyone just to immediately quit their job, but like that's the Goldilocks zone, right? That's the sweet spot, because it just matching a job with a skill set that lets you champion yourself and bring your inner self
Hmm.
out. Like that's really where you want to be.
And it's funny because it's like you read a lot of things about negotiation, right? And like I do a lot of negotiation in my job, and I've never had any negotiation training, right? But I found that I apply the same, like I just negotiated like this contract that, crossing our fingers, knocking on wood that, the parts of it that are out of control of myself um go well, because there's just certain things that a real estate contract, a realtor can't, or an agent can't control when it comes to like the loan side and appraisal and things like that. And there's just certain things like that are completely out of my hands. And my clients know that. So it's not like I'm worried they're gonna be mad at me. It's more of like I'm just like, like, I want the house for them basically. But that being said, I don't think I've ever subscribed to like a natural way of negotiating. I've just always gone into like it's also like you can't do things on a formulaic. Is that the word?
Formulaic, yeah.
Formulaic, yeah. There I go. Hire me. But a formulaic like way about things, because like I don't necessarily approach every situation the same, and I don't approach every negotiation. There's some people like I will say negotiation is all about the prior relationship, in my opinion. Like if you can form a relationship with the other side of whatever you're doing, um, before like the final stages, you're gonna have a better way about it, you know. And I don't know how I got on this uh uh topic, but I gotta say, negotiation has been one of the biggest um things I feel accomplished about in my life is negotiation and the art of negotiation. It's one of the things that makes me feel the best about myself.
I love that.
What do you?
I
I mean,
I think
it's
that
the most satisfying thing I can do, in my
I
opinion.
see you excel at that, and I think it's really exciting for me to see you be in a place where you found. It feels like to me that you found truly um, what you were made to do, and that's really incredible.
I mean, yeah, I know. I don't, I don't mean to talk all about myself, but I just, from the time that we've been off, I've been just doing a lot of thinking about like, explaining the just kind of what I do and how, like, why it makes me happy. And the thing of it is that, um, I really always thought that being in the movie industry meant you were at like the top echelon of, like you were the coolest guy in the room. And now I look at a businessman as somebody that's like the coolest people in the world, And I think, you know, let me ask you a question. Do you often, what are some of your favorite parts about your job?
I think that some of the favorite parts of my job are figuring out sort of like puzzle pieces how things fit together. It's really exciting for me to be able to put together a campaign that speaks visually to like message wise aligns with the client, aligns with their story, and visually aligns with it as well. Like if I can hit um like for instance we're doing a 420 campaign for Cheech and Chong coming up here.
Fuck
If
yeah.
yeah, like if and I designed the merch for it, and if we can make that aesthetic line up with exactly what the message they're delivering is, and the fans love it, and we're serving it to them on a platform that we created for them, and we're controlling the messaging, and we're interacting with these people, like on every level, I feel like we are creating a community where people love to be in. So like that for me, like creating those communities and seeing it effective, not only is like the dollars roll in, right? Because that's always what a business wants to meet is like their bottom line. But the really exciting part is using design and strategy to deliver an experience that people truly appreciate. And aside from the artistic part, like if you ask me truly, okay, strip away the job of what it is you're doing, like I admire the art. Like that's why I got into this field, is because I look at these giants that create like incredible works of art in all shapes and sizes. But also like in my job, truly the admiration is like there's power in marketing. Like before the term marketing existed, it existed as long as humans have, as long as someone has
Absolutely.
had a need for something,
And
we've created a solution and marketed it to other people, and the
and that's
power
why
of
I
that
think
tool and
that
using it ethically is like so exciting to me.
I think that that's why your job and my job are very similar. And that's why I say sales, and like you're selling every day. Like it might not be you out talking to people, but you have to do the same thing with your brain that I do with my brain. Is you have to connect. You have to be able to connect with the masses on that emotional level. You
But
know,
it's
and
not. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No, no, no. I want to hear what you have to
Well, I
say.
was just gonna say, like, it's like the emotional level, but you can connect with someone on an emotional level through like an Instagram ad, and then all of a sudden you go to a product and it turns out to be a shitty product, right? Because I think marketing is much deeper than that. Like when you're aligning your offering, like the product it is you're offering with your marketing, because anyone can make a claim about something like, hey, come buy these pair of pants, they're going to be the best pair of pants you ever owned, and they're made out of these really fine cotton threads that are woven at, this really, thin, we get the cotton from this really great farm wherever. Like you can talk the talk, but when you engage with a product, does it live up to that? And there are a few brands that I think that live up to that. Like a couple of my favorite brands are Patagonia and Outlier. So Patagonia,
Love
I'm sure people are
Patagonia.
aware, like they walk the walk. They talk it, of course, but then they actually walk it. Like if you look at what they're doing on their website, more than half of their site is dedicated to how exactly they're sourcing their materials, how ethical they're being. Like, and just massive respect, because you can tell that it comes from the core, from the very top. The CEO like is pledging
Yeah,
a bunch of the stock to a lot of different conservation efforts. And so like when when the product and the core values of a business like all align, that's what I truly value. Like, and if I can be a part of that, help create it to create that experience that people truly value, that's really special. Like, I don't know, I could go on and on about different brands, but um, I, as much of a marketer as I am, I'm very susceptible to marketing too. And the brands that I've noticed that I align with, um, they just they make you feel good because it doesn't feel like you're buying a product. It makes you feel like you're a
it's
part of
funny.
a
And
community.
Patagonia is definitely one of my favorite brands.
Yeah.
And
I
I've read all that, and they're an unbelievable company.
Yeah, just incredible. Like the more you read about their story, the
And
more you
see,
get wrapped in.
it's that right now. Let me stop you right there. It's that smile that listen. It's hard because I think that millions of people are in jobs where they can't find that smile, and that sucks. It does. It does suck. And I know there's millions of people, and this is what I'm saying. And I know there's millions of people that are kind of stuck in a rut of they, for whatever reason, just they can't leave that job. But if you're in it, like there's a few people I know that are in that position where like they can't find that smile. Listen, if you're in a position that you're just scared to leave the job and you're not finding that smile, that's your fault. Okay. But if you're in a position that, there's 100 million positions out there that that people are in that they just can't leave that job. And that's sad. Okay. And that sucks. And I feel sorry for them. But if you're in that position that, maybe you don't have any kids, maybe you have kids, but you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank or whatever, because it's not fucking worth it to go through life if you have a way, if you have the ability to maybe find that smile and you don't go do it. But I understand that there's a lot more than often, more often than not, people are in a position where they can't get out of. Oh, I make 120,000 here. I have two kids. There's just no way I can leave. I get it. I got like, and you know what? That sucks. And I hope you can find that smile somewhere else. But goddamn, if you could find that smile with your job, fucking do it because it's a rewarding place to be.
Yeah, it's hard to find that smile, especially if you're on the beginning of a journey where you don't even know how to get that smile out of yourself. Like I questioned whether, and I think it's the path that everyone walks, because I don't think that when you were in high school, you probably didn't envision yourself doing what you're doing now, or maybe you did, but I don't think that we all know what our
I
calling is
think about
until
that.
it comes and falls in our lap.
Yeah, I agree. I never thought I'd be a real estate agent. I didn't. There was a second where I thought I might go work for my brother's company in the sales area, but I thought it was far too stupid to send emails. Um, Turns out I'm not. And turns out I'm lucky I married the right woman. She does it for me. No, I'm joking.
Now you have Chat GPT
But
write your emails. It's okay.
yeah, too bad I didn't know Chat GPT was around the corner because that would have been refreshing to know in high school. Uh Jesus, could you imagine if we knew
Oh
that?
my God. I would go get way less stuff done. I would just procrastinate even more.
Yeah.
I would just would
Yeah, I would have been like,
oh,
fuck
that'd
it.
been
I'm gonna
amazing.
have chat. All right. Well, I think how long have we been talking?
I think we're over an hour, so I think we talked
Okay, so
plenty.
I want to end this with what's something you recently used Chat GPT for?
Oh man. I don't want to turn this into another 15-minute segment, but here is my just really, really exciting recap. Okay.
Because
I'm gonna ramble.
awesome. I'm glad you have one because I have been using it. Nothing since the last time we talked has. I mean, listen, it blows my mind every day, but I've been just using it for the same of the normal minutia. So I'm glad that you have something to say. So that's my thing. For the past month,
Yeah.
I've been using ChatGPT pretty normally.
I think you're going to be using it way more because there's a few things that they announced, and every week it kind of gets crazier and crazier. So, in the past couple weeks, OpenAI announced, well, ChatGPT 4 is now available if you're a pro subscriber. So it's the next iteration of GPT. It's really incredible. It does a lot of crazy things, a lot more accurately. In fact, it can pass the bar now, and it can get flying colors. Okay, like this is approaching very insane levels
Didn't
of
Elon Musk come out
accuracy.
and say, please stop
Yeah,
developing
yeah,
AI?
yeah. I think that's stupid,
That
but we
is
can
the
talk about
fucking
that
scariest
on.
thing. Oh God, that is the
I
scariest thing
hold
I've
the
ever heard in my
opinion
life.
it's very scary, but I also hold the opinion that this is like the iPhone level of creation. Like if we just leapt from Nokia's to iPhone, we did that in the span of about 4 weeks over the course of this past month. It's actually insane. We can talk about why I think Elon is just fear mongering on another episode, but I think this is very exciting. But all that to say,
Good to hear you say that because I got to be honest with you. I pretty much believe whatever Elon Musk says, but I believe you more. I don't know why. I don't know if that's good for me, but you've always been a beacon of light. And ever since I read that, I went, ruh-roh.
oh
This is not
god,
good.
yeah. Well, I don't claim to be any smarter than Elon Musk. All of my opinions are my own, but I
He
do
is,
think
he
that
is. He's
Elon
smarter
can
than
be
Elon Musk.
particularly quirky when it comes to certain things. So I don't know.
You don't
Anyways,
say.
regardless of that, I so GPT OpenAI also announced that they're going to be doing plugins. So Chat GPT 4 plugins. What this means, okay, and I'm going to try my best to explain it in layman terms because even I have a trouble understanding explaining it. I
The
talked to
great
my
Andrew
cousin.
Warner? No.
I please don't use the word great next to my name. My cousin, who is an actual machine, like he works with machine code, so he knows much more intimately. He tried explaining to me like what GPT-4 plugins is capable of. So let me be a little bit more concise. GPT-4 plugins is what the App Store is to the first iPhone. So what that means is eventually you're going to be able to use GPT-4 with Expedia, Instacart, your banking apps, your trading portfolio, and you're going to be able to tell GPT, "Hey, I have a recipe that I want to do this for. Can you recommend some recipes?" Cool, here's the list. Great. Why don't you
And
buy
they
that on
order it for
Instacart
you.
for me? And by the way, why don't you scrape Twitter for all current trending things about Tesla and tell me whether or not I should buy stock this week, and then go buy it at these limits. Like this is going to be
Dude, it's going to even the playing field.
you're not going to need a financial advisor anymore. These are bold claims, so I don't know if this
Oh.
is going to be. I mean, do you understand? Do you understand?
You heard it here,
This is
people.
okay. All the jobs we are going to become farmers in the next couple of years. Okay,
Fucking
maybe that's a
A.
good thing.
Thank God. What a relief. What a fucking relief. Elon, shut the fuck up. Let it take over the world. If I could just go tend to my crop, are you fucking kidding? By the way, shout out Clarkson Farm on Amazon Prime, one of the best shows ever made. Season 1 and 2. I'm a huge fan. I think Jeremy Clarkson should be the next president. I love him to death. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I mean, I can't even, explain it more other than that. This is like we are just taking leaps and bounds. I mean, if you look at technology increasing from 20 years ago to now, it's truly an exponential curve, and it's going to stay that way. I mean, the things that we can do with Chat GPT already, I'll give you an example. This is my last ramble. We used at work, we used Chat GPT 4 to build an entire an entire quarter's worth of social media programming for 3 of our clients. It's effectively replacing our need right now for a social media manager. So what it did was we told it, hey,
that's fucked up.
Here's what our client did. Here's what our client does. This is the kind of content we want to see. Create an entire month schedule. Here are the parameters. And it spit it out in a table format perfectly. Okay. And it included the copywriting for every single post. It included the hashtags. It included emojis. It included and the days and the times it should be and the platforms it should go on. I mean, if you can decipher anything from my ramble, it's that it's already changing the landscape of every single job that you could possibly imagine. And it's all happening right now. So, I mean, even if you don't know anything about what GPT-4 is, if you're not techie, you don't have to be techie. Just watch some YouTube videos on it, dive in, have some fun with it. Just try, because I have a feeling that prompt engineering is going to be a really big job in the coming, months. And if it's not already, I mean, I would imagine it's already a job. And if not, I mean, it's just bootstrapping so many different companies.
So you think it might create? Okay, I'm looking at the time, and I really have to go. But,
so do I, but that's my ramble.
All right, let's bookmark it there. We're gonna talk about Elon, ChatGPT, whatever the fuck you just said, and all other things next week. How long are you out of town for?
I'm out till next Wednesday, so let's do it.
All right, so maybe we'll reconvene next Thursday.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our rambling nonsense.
Yes, and I know I had an extra amount of energy tonight.
I love it.
Yeah, that's me, baby.
SoEssentiallyPod.com. Find us on all the platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts. Reach out to us, soessentiallypod@gmail.com. That's it.
That was So Essentially.
Thanks, everyone.